for Krishna. The demons, they don't care. Everything is for themselves. So that's selfishness. So going forward, one of our resolutions should be, we should be selfless. Actually, this is how we grow in Krishna consciousness. The more we help other people, the more Krishna helps us in our Krishna consciousness. So selflessness is really key. It's also part of humility. You have to be humble to be selfless. You have to be humble to want to help other people, because normally people are looking for themselves, looking out for themselves first. So it's very important. So that's the things we're picking out from. That's why I don't have a 10th canto. I was just looking at the things that we could benefit from as devotees. So one, don't do what Kansa did in terms of his consciousness. Even if you don't kill, but the consciousness is bad. He wanted something bad against his own sister because of what he had heard. And he had no proof that what the voice was even authentic, or what was saying was, what was being said was true. He just heard he's gonna die. All right, she's gonna kill me? No, she's gone. That's all. That's all they think of. So now, when we are in trouble, who do we go to? We have to go to Krishna or the agents of Krishna. That's exactly what Vasudeva did. Started appealing to what Krishna could do. Do for the same thing. When she was being stripped, he says, hey, Krishna, hey, Govinda. And that's how she got out of it. She didn't get naked in front of the whole, Dhritarashtra court. Dhritarashtra should be ashamed of himself. Anyway, that's another thing. So but we go where the help is. We cannot go to a person. They don't have the power. Krishna has the power, and his representative is Guru. Because of Krishna setting up Guruship, that's why Guruship is there. He said, Tad Vidi Pranipatena. The Guru didn't say, oh, I just want to be. No, Krishna said, I put you there as my representative. So Guru is authorized. The bona fide Guru is authorized by Krishna. That's why we can appeal to him. And Krishna says, you go to him, you inquire submissively. So even this Janmashtami is Krishna's birthday, but we can't forget that. We're still devotees, and we still appeal to the same process that Srila Prabhupada set up. So Vasudeva had to appeal inwardly. What to do about this man that's going to kill my wife? So he did some things. First of all, he said, gee, I thought reputation matters to you, Kansa. You're going to do this right in front of everybody. What if people, you may not care about what people think about you. Politically, it's the most horrible thing to do. He had to agree. You are the big politician. You're the king. And now a king will execute his own sister in front of everybody. Even demons have a little conscience left. They're not all zero bad conscience. So he thought about, okay, that's one point. And then the second point, but it's child number 8. We can't have child number 8 at the beginning. It has to be child number 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6. So child number 8 is no way. We haven't even started having child number 1 yet. And you're already killing this person. She's not the one that's going to kill you. It's the child. Come on, be able to distinguish. This is a mother. A mother is not killing you. Then child number 8. Have we started child at all? So Kansa has to start thinking. See, this is not negotiation. Kansa, you're stupid. Basically, you're going to disgrace yourself and act stupidly. And then you want people to praise you as a king. It won't work. So think. So Vasudeva was not negotiating. He was showing how much of a fool Krishna had become. Kansa had become. I'm sorry, Bruce. I'm in trouble. I apologize. Kansa had become. Now, Krishna says, fools deride me. Get it straight. Fools deride me. They don't know how much power I have over everything, including Kansa himself. And so we have to be very, 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 very careful. In our dealings, we have to be fair, and then we also have to reason correctly. We always have to reason for ourselves, yes, but when the reasoning favors the other person, they're more likely to listen to you. Even demons, what to speak of devotees. So if you care about, not just empathize, look at the other person's situation and see how you can help them from their standpoint, which means if we have a situation that we're talking about with another person, we need to see the other person's standpoint first. That's called humility. Even if you think you got a good point, but the other person also has a point. You think their point is not so great, but it may be good. Have you really heard it? Have you really thought about it? Hmm? So this Janmashtami, the main thing is purification. The really topic of purification and escaping demoniac mentality. This is what we're thinking about now for the Buddhists, to escape it and also humility. So we need to see the other person's point of view and put ours in the back burner a little bit. If we do that, then Guru and Krishna will notice that we are humble. And the more humble we are, the more we get in terms of how Krishna reciprocates. He says, so the more humble we are, considering the other person, being helpful to the other person, then we get help spiritually too. And that's the best thing. Materially, well, this body is going to leave at some point. So we can do the best that we can with it, just trying to do what's necessary. But then in the end, we have to feed the soul. How do we feed the soul? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. All right, so now Cancer saw some truth in what Vasudeva was saying. He freed them up. He's all right. The 8th child is not going to kill me. 8th child is not going to kill me yet because he's not even born. Okay, so this is how Vasudeva, by Krishna's mercy, got out of it and got his wife still intact. Intact in that, Devaki did not get killed. And he also gave his word, Vasudeva. All right, they said the 8th child. Every child that's born, in case you're doubting, so you don't have to count, we'll give a child to you. You do whatever you want. All right? That's the third thing. Constance goes, yeah, I can believe this. And Vasudeva is a man of his word. So then it started. The first child got born. And then at some point, Kansa began to think, but they can run away at any time. How can I be sure if they run away and then have the 8th child somewhere without me in control, that 8th child is going to be born and is going to do something to me. So I'm going to make sure that they don't run away. And the easy way for a king to make sure that somebody doesn't run away is to put them in confinement. So he did, and he is very wicked. So he bound them in chains in a dungeon. And now the children will be born, and he would know for sure, including the 8th one, when the 8th one comes. So Vasudeva and Devaki had to spend time in jail, and right across, at least the way the video shows, was Maharaj Ugrasen also. Krishna puts devotees in difficulties. Why? He puts devotees in difficulties so that let us now, I'm not talking about the pure devotees, and we learn our lessons. We learn lessons from it, okay? And you learn a lesson, you grow. You grow. You take an exam, you pass the exam, you become better, you can teach other people. So it's good. Actually, it's good. Even though the exam time itself is difficult. Every exam is difficult. Challenges, the questions, even regular Kami exam, the questions, do you know how to do it? Did you memorize properly? Can you figure it out? This is a regular exam. So in life, the spiritual exam is even more important because the spiritual exam is to take us back to Godhead, where the material exam is going to end when the physical body ends. So even the spiritual exam is even more important, that we take that more seriously. And then, we have the classes for the exams. Bhagavatam is there. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has spoken. Krishna's devotees have spoken. In Bhagavatam, he himself has taken different incarnations to still speak about Krishna consciousness. So we learn all of that, but not only that, we live according to it. We live according to it. And then when the test comes, we've been through some of them before. And the ones that we don't know, we learn it as a lesson. And the one that confuses us the most, we just go to help. We go for the tutor. The tutor is the senior devotee that knows better. The tutor is the guru that knows better. So you can just kind of have an analogy, parallel between the school that we've been and the school of love, what we're going through now. Krishna Prema, the school of love we're going through now. My Guru Maharaj called it like that, school of love. In this material world, we're learning how to love again. Krishna Prema. We don't know how because we've forgotten how. So now Guru is teaching us by instructions. You do this, do this, do this. You don't love by instructions. You love from your heart. But since we don't know anything at all, we're starting off. And Krishna responds to love. So Devaki and Vasudeva went through all kinds of changes. And then Krishna's own form, Golok Vrindavan, his plan just kicked in. First one, second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one, sixth one. They were all murdered, but there was a reason behind it. We won't get into details. Seventh one, well, that's when things changed. Balaram came. Balaram was shipped before Kansa knew what was happening. Gone to Rohini, the other wife. And so this, there's pregnancy, and then there's no more pregnancy. What happened? Well, no, we don't do abortion. Excuse me, but the child is not there anymore. Too bad. But it's number 7, though. It's counted as number 7. And then number 8, true to his word, the voice was in fact from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he's coming. And as it says in the Bhagavatam, first, Krishna appeared in the mind of Vasudeva, then transferred to the mind of Devaki, and then from the mind to the stomach of Devaki. This is how Rana Maharaj explained it. So it wasn't this regular pregnancy type, not at all. He came to the mind of a husband, then to the mind of the wife, and then to the womb of the wife, like that. And then when he came to the womb, the entire place got very effulgent because Krishna was in Devaki's womb. And the demigods saw it, and they came and they offered, and the gods don't know what's going on. They only know the place is bright. Counts as gods. They don't know what's going on. They know something unusual is getting ready to happen. And they also know that there was pregnancy on number 7. They don't know what happened on number 7. To the next one has to be number 8. So that must be that one. Well, Krishna did in fact appear. 400 form. Janmashtami, 400 form. Here he is. Appeared. No labor, nothing. He appeared. Here I am. And Vasudeva and Devaki look at him and says, what? You like this? Yeah, I understand. But then they're thinking materially. What is Kansa going to do? What's Kansa going to say? This is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But he always listens to his devotees. So Arjuna says, Krishna, drive my chariot. Oh, wonderful. Yes, I'll do. So now Devaki also made a request. All of them, the 6 ones have come with babies. So why don't you just two-hand the baby also? So Krishna agreed. But then Krishna had instructions. Vasudeva, take me out of here. The Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, what would you do? You look at it and say, but they have their guards and their gates and everything. How do I do? What do you mean, how do I do that? Krishna does everything. You don't ask Krishna, how do you do anything? You just follow. And sure enough, the guards were put in the deep slumber, the gates opened by themselves, and Vasudeva walked out and nobody saw him. And he just kept going with a basket with Krishna on top of it. And we fast forward because a number of things when he was crossing the Jamuna, all of that. So we went. He went to give the child. So what do we learn? Trust Krishna completely. Trust Krishna completely. Don't doubt. Doubts are our problems. If you doubt Krishna, it's literally an insult to Krishna. What can he not do? It's like, when are we going to get it? When are we going to get it? We doubt so much. We're in the material world. So what? He owns the material world. He owns the spiritual world. Don't doubt Krishna. And his representative is Guru. So then don't doubt Guru, because Guru is connected to Krishna. Guru only is there talking because Krishna has set it up that way. And he says, he has revealed the truth. Jnananas Tatvadashina. The truth has been revealed to Guru. So the Guru is heavy with truth. Heavy how? Krishna consciousness is heavy. The whole thing is heavy. And some is given to Guru enough for us to understand. Krishna is unlimited. We can't understand it ever, totally. But enough to us to understand that we are in the right place. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. All right. So now Krishna winds up in Gokul, Nanda Maharaj, and Yashoda. Then there's another thing too. Another Krishna was born. We can get into all that details too. But Krishna is now there. And so, Kansa, eat your heart out. He's gone. He's number 8 and he's gone. So what to do? And I know one that there was exchange. The girl came, but the girl was Durga. And Kansa got surprised. So Devaki is saying, but it's a girl, 8 sons is supposed to kill. Demons don't hear those kind of things. They don't care. Number 8, he was trying to kill him, and then he got called a fool again. Durga also called him a fool. He says, The eighth son is born somewhere else. See, then the transition, if you're going to be demonic, the Christian will play with your mind so badly. Even when you are wonderful with them, like the cowherd boys, he still plays with your mind, but in a wonderful, positive way, though. That's Yoga Maya. But when you're a demon, oh, he really gets you then. He really will get you then. He would deceive you so badly. So council didn't know what to do. And then there were some other things too that was happening at night. Council was getting nightmares about he himself being executed. I mean, so many things happened. Vishnu gave him so much trouble, but he had to put up with it and the next morning act like he was a powerful king. But at nighttime, he was a victim. He was being peppered badly. So all through that, I'm going to get the 8 I'm going to get the 8 Well, finally, Krishna Balaram grow up. Akrura comes to get them because it's called in America home court advantage. He wanted the Krishna Balaram to come, but not to fight in Vrindavan, but fight in Kansa's backyard. That's called home courts. Advantage. Now he's there, so he wants them to come. All right, Krishna came. Some of the pastimes that he had to continue with, he did. There were pastimes from the Yuga before, Treta Yuga. Krishna was born in Dwapara Yuga. Treta Yuga, Ramayana was continued at that time, including Shurpanakha. Shurpanakha wanted to marry Ram. Now, it wasn't going to happen. He tried to, and Lakshman gave him the sauce. He just, peppered her a little bit. But still, after all of that, in the Ramayana series, she still went in meditation, still wanting the Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead, as a husband. So he meditated under water, and Lord Shiva approached him and said, "What do you want?" Nicely, of course. "What do you want?" Shurpanakha, "I'm still in love with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Ram." And then Shiva told him, he said it's one wife this time. One wife. He's not going to change that. But there's another yuga coming that there's a good chance that your desire will be fulfilled, because right now you're not acting like a demon. You really are desperate, wanting this to happen. And that was Kubja. So when he got born, that was Kubja at Mathura. So Krishna and Balaram went to Kubja. That was Shurpanakha. Yeah, and Kubja is a hunchback. Krishna straightened her up, made her beautiful, and fulfilled her wishes. So if we really, from our hearts, want to serve Krishna in a certain way, really want to, Krishna will make it happen. But we go through Guru though. We are, conditioned souls. We don't go directly. We go through Guru with everything. You inquire, and then you serve nicely, and then Krishna will help us. So this Janmashtami again, we can request like that, but request things to serve. Hare Krishna means, dear Radha, dear Krishna, please engage me in devotional service to you. This is how you develop your love. You serve a person, you love them, you give them things. And speaking about giving things, you don't give little things. So Prabhupada is giving us mercy. Okay, so you do the minimum, 16 rounds. 16 rounds. The standard is 64 rounds. Just do a quarter of it. Now, you don't say, I got $40 for you, but I'll give you only $10. That's a quarter of it. Is that a good gift? But if Sri Prabhupada hadn't done that, we would give zero. So he started off somewhere. Okay, now you build from your $10 to $12 and $15. That's why he said $10 is the minimum. 16 rounds is the minimum. You just on your own increase, and then you see that Krishna will reward accordingly. And next thing you know, you are actually beginning to have some love. Now you're steady. And then Asaki, detachment, and you're steady and you get the taste, ruchi. Next thing you know, you want Baba, and you go, "What? Me? Yes, you." You can get at that point. Everybody has a right to get to Krishna Prema, to love God. Loving God is not for one person only or a few people. Everybody can. You got to want to do it. That's all. And if you got to want to do it, then that means that everything that comes with it, you are ready to also apply. So we are wonderful. In that case, we are very fortunate. And that's why I talked a little bit about, we're going to connect it with Chaitanya Charitamrita. If you can pull it up, Mataji. I gave chapter 19, text 151. I think it was Madhya. Yeah, okay. So here it says that, I have to get my things ready. Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagavan Jiva, Guru Krishna Prasad Pai Bhakti Laktabij. According to their karma, all living entities are wandering throughout the entire universe. And that's us. That's us. And some of them, they're going to the heavenly planets. Some of them are going to the hellish planets. And we are in the middle. And out of many millions of wandering living entities, ourselves involved, also part of it, one who's very fortunate, that would be us, gets the opportunity to associate with a bona fide spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, by the grace of Krishna. And by the mercy of both the Krishna and the spiritual master, such a person receives Bhakti Lata Beads, the keeper of devotional service. So now we can connect with Krishna, not by imagination, but for real, for real. Through the help of the spiritual master, we also start loving Krishna the way Vasudev and Devaki and Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda, they all showed all, and all of the cowherd boys and all in Vrindavan, having such fun, Gokul and Vrindavan, I mean, wherever they were. Krishna killing demons, they were enjoying it. This is all Krishna's pastimes, beginning with Putana, who we just, sucked the very life out of her. And this 12-mile big structure just fell down and knocked trees down and everything else is the beginning of Krishna's pastimes. So we will also, over time, and by the mercy of Guru, be added to the pastimes. It can happen to us too. Krishna is not saying, oh, you guys this way and then you can't. No, actually, Papa says, the sunshine is open for everyone. If you close your door and you are in, as you call it, airtight darkness, that's your problem. That is your problem because you choose to be that way. But Krishna is not stopping anybody from coming to him. So we got the opportunity. Take advantage of it. So according to karma, all living entities are wandering throughout the universe. Some of them, they go into high planetary systems, and some of them go lower. But we don't want any of that. We want to connect with the spiritual master. And by the mercy of the spiritual master, we start serving. All right, now, no purport, go to the next one. 152. Okay, next, yeah. Now, when a person, we'll go straight to the English. When a person receives the seed of devotional service, he should take care of it. You got the seed, you got to put the right ingredients for fertilization, the right soil. And in fact, for that matter, Bhashana Swami says, so Lord Nityananda, he has a plow, right? Plow. And he plows our hearts to make our hearts soft. So that the Bhakti Lata Beej, the seed can grow nicely in our heart. So this text here, 152, says when a person receives the seed of devotional service, he should take care of it by becoming a gardener. So we are devotees, but we're going to be gardeners too. And then, so when the seed, the spiritual master sows the seed, then we have to water it. We water gradually by our process of Shravan and Kirtan. It says the hearing and chanting. Hearing guides us. Chanting is a connection. It's like they say the fax line. The fax line is the spiritual word. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So through that process, then the seed will begin to sprout. Next one. Again, we're going to the English. Next one. No purpose. Just going to the next one. Yeah. So English. As one waters this seed, and the seed sprouts, and the creeper gradually goes to the point where it penetrates the walls of the universe and goes beyond the Viraja. Viraja is also another pastime. In the spiritual world, Viraja is actually a gopi. That, such things happened, between him and Krishna, and Radharani got very mad and he was coming after, going to really face Viraja, and Viraja changed herself into a river. This is how Viraja River came. This is Gaga Samhita talks about that. So anyway, goes beyond the Viraja River, lying between the spiritual world and the material world. And so this is actually Gopi in the spiritual world. And this pastime happening, he was trying to escape Radharani, formed himself into this river. And then sometime later we'll talk about pastimes in Gaga Samhita. Anyway, so this creeper, now we have to give so much love in our devotional service for the seed to sprout. So we got to do more. Even if you do 16 rounds, other services should also be there to enhance the growth like that, so that your seed would grow. Okay. I'm depending on you. So, okay. So the seed sprouts and goes past the Viraja River, and from the Viraja River, you enter the spiritual world. It attains Brahmaloka, Brahman effulgence, that's Krishna's effulgence. All of the planets in the spiritual world are self-effulgent. It's actually from Krishna's effulgence. And now we talk about the reflection of Krishna's effulgence is the material sun that we see. That's a reflection. And even the reflection has heat and light and all of that, we know, we experience it. So all the suns in the material world are reflections of Krishna, of Krishna's Brahmajyoti. That's a reflection only. But the Brahmajyoti, I mean, the effulgence is spiritual, and so it lights up all of the planets. Brahman effulgence. So this creeper approaches the spiritual sky and the planet. Goloka Vrindavan, this is Prabhupada is trying to get us to go there. Okay. Again, fast forward to the next one, the translation. So being situated in one's heart and being watered by hearing and chanting, Shravan Kirtan, the Bhakti creeper grows more and more. So it gets stronger and stronger and stronger, and it's a creeper, so it just winds on and keeps going. And that way it attains shelter of the desire tree. Nice you bring the desire tree. We don't have desire trees here. We don't, but it's all Kalpa Vriksha. The desire of the lotus feet of Krishna, who is eternally situated in the planet known as Goloka Vrindavan. And speaking about the lotus feet of Krishna, Srila Prabhupada gave one lecture. The devotees were asking him questions. Well, how is it like as far as service in the spiritual world? Srila Prabhupada says it's all voluntary. Whatever form you take, fine. You can serve Krishna as a river. You can serve Krishna as a door. You can serve Krishna as a gopi. You can serve Krishna even as an insect. And then he said, one situation as far as the insect. So one can be a spiritual ant, A-N-T, ant. And then he says, when the flower is thrown at Krishna's lotus feet for effulgence and also for nice aroma, remember everything is effulgent. So even the spiritual world, the flowers are effulgent, not like ours here. It's literally they're lights, like that, this uniform lights like that come out. Some of us, well, it got described to us, so we know a little bit more about it. So it's very wonderful. I mean, you haven't seen any place like that. Even the grass is effulgent and wonderfully cut. So this is home. Some of the devotees have, have described to us. So that's how we know. Now, he said the flower gets thrown and the ant kisses the lotus feet of Krishna. Because the ant is small. It kisses the lotus toe of Krishna. It's a wonderful service. So it was described, so he was in that mood. So we can be any form that we want to be as long as we want to serve Krishna wonderfully in the spiritual world. So here we are assigned duties so we can learn how to love Krishna. But when we are loving naturally, the Raganuga type, not the Vidi type or Vidi Sadhana type, then it gets wonderful. It is there. That approach is there for everybody. Okay. Now, scroll after the purport a little bit because there's Ananda Chinmaya. I need to pick that one up. If that's not there, go to the next one because there's one of the purports that would say yes. Okay, well, let me read the translation and then get to Ananda Chinmaya. So back up a little bit. Okay, all right. So being situated in one's heart and being watered by Shravan and Kirtan, the creeper grows more and more and more. In this way, your things is shelter, more and more. Well, you go higher and higher to get to the lotus feet of Krishna, who is eternally situated in his planet known as Goloka Vrindavan. And the favorite place is where Krishna has a lotus. The design is lotus and Radha and Krishna are there, and the gopis are there. And you just can't go in so easily. Like the gopis have to give you permission. You just can't go there like that. You ask, what do you want? Narada Muni is the pastime, another thing about Narada Muni and an associate called Tumburu from the heavenly planet. They went to perform for Krishna. This is another thing in Gaga Samhita. Another time when we talk about Narada Muni, we'll talk about that. All right, so in this way, it attains the shelter of the desire tree of a lotus feet of Krishna, who is eternally situated in the planet known as Goloka Vrindavan, in the topmost region of the spiritual sky. Now, Brahma Samhita 537. Okay, we'll try to sing this. Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pativavita Vis Tadviya Eva Nijarupataya Kalavi Goloka Eva Nivasatya Kilatma Bhuto Govinda Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. So our leader, Lord Brahma, compiled this. Samhita means compilation. Brahma Samhita, chapter 5, and of course 37. Chapter 5, text 1 is very, very, very popular, right? So people know about that. Ishwara Paramakrishna, Satchidananda Vigraha, Nadi Adi Govinda, Sarvakarana Karanam. He's the cause of all causes. But here, Lord Brahma says, I worship Govinda. First lesson. We all should worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, but worship it according to the way we've been told, though. He resides in his own realm, Goloka, with Radha. And Radha resembles Krishna's own spiritual figure. That's the first thing. He resembles, that's why we say Radha and Krishna are one. Even though he's feminine, but we're one. The resemblance is there. Now, we probably can't put our minds to it because we've been seeing artistic drawings, but the real Krishna, we've been helped with drawings. Wonderful drawings by Srila Prabhupada's direction, who Krishna is, who Radha is. But here, it goes a little bit into it. Because Radha is the one that has the whole Ladini potency, the ecstatic, who embodies the ecstatic potency. Krishna's pleasure, the sum total of Krishna's pleasure is Radharani. Krishna's pleasure. So my Guru Maharaj says, she is the personification of bhakti. He's the personification. See, we can own things, but Krishna can be the form of a concept. We might think concept, but it's actually real. So Radharani is the ecstatic potency. And then Lord Brahma is saying her companions are her confidants. They embody the extensions of her bodily form. Actually, Jagusuna Prabhu one time, the former president, Baltimore, came to Harrisburg, gave a lecture, and I heard he's a senior devotee, that's my disciple, been around a long time. And he gave a specific example of this, that Lalita and Vishaka were born from the hands of Srimati Radharani. Now, sometimes you may not have heard this, but see, the thing about pastimes, in the Gaga Samhita, so many times different pastimes occur. So you might have heard Lalita born in a different situation by someone else, but originally they come from the hands of Srimati Radharani. And all of the gopis are from the hairs of Srimati Radharani. So they're all expansions of Srimati Radharani. Every one of them is representing love of Krishna in a particular way. And there are 7 systems after Krishna Prema. We talked about it. Sneha, Mana, Pranaya, and the list goes on. We won't go to the details like that, all the way up to Mahabhav, and the 7 of them. And Srimati Radharani he has a sum total of all 7 ways of loving Krishna. Madanakya Mahabhav. So she is the topmost. And therefore, Lord Chaitanya is also the topmost because he came with that bhav of Srimati Radharani. And so when you look at the Shastaka, the way things are described, missing Krishna, and then the hair standing on end, all of those things are different sections of the love of Krishna. All right, so we come here. So I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord. He resides in his own realm, Goloka, with Radha, who resembles his own spiritual figure and who embodies the ecstatic potency, Ladini. Her companions are her confidants. If you could scroll up a little bit, who embody, if you could scroll up a little bit, please, Hare Krishna. Okay. All right, thank you. Her companions are confidants who embody extensions of her bodily form and who are imbued and permeated. Imbued and permeated is pretty much the same word, with ever blissful spiritual ras. In the spiritual world, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, has expanded himself by his spiritual potency. And sometimes he comes here as a little child too, as we see in Janmashtami. But he is ever supreme and ever present. We are just little parts and parcels of him. So anyway, in the spiritual world, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has expanded himself by his spiritual potency. He has his eternal form of Satchidananda, bliss, and knowledge. And everything in the Goloka Vrindavan planet is a spiritual expansion of that. Goloka Vrindavan is some kind of beautiful. It is extremely beautiful. It still has the village type things, but it's a mix of, and it's been described in Gaga Samhita. That's why I know a little bit more. It's a mix of beauty and then serenity. Same is there. Both are there. And sometimes we say a little bit now, sometimes when Krishna wants to perform his pastime in Vrindavan in India, which is a replica of the spiritual world, even though it's much smaller, but still it fits like that. We don't have eyes. I don't have eyes to see it. No, but it's there. In one point before the Rasa dance at night, Krishna changed things. Now, the gopis are always ready to, they decorate the place, but you also know that Krishna can change things at any time because he's the supreme and they go along with it, any changes he made. So at that time, the ground was changed to the ground in Goloka Vrindavan. And that ground has jewels, pearls, and if I remember, this blue, I forget which one, and then gold, blue and gold, shiny pearls on the ground. So the ground is like that. So you can imagine in the spiritual world, the ground is like that. Why wouldn't they be so happy singing and dancing? Everything is blissful. So that's what we're missing. And that's what Sri Prabhupada is trying to get us to go. All right, so Ananda everything in Goloka Vrindavan is a spiritual expansion of I'm watching the time, of Satchidananda. Everyone there is of the same potency. Everyone there is part and parcel of Krishna. So as far as quality, yes. Ananda Chinmaya Ras. The relationship between the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his servitor is what's called Chinmaya Ras. And of course, they have different ways. As we know, 5 different ways: neutrality and service and friendship and parental and conjugal. All of them. But that's the 5 main headings though. And devotees are in a particular one of those categories. But within that category, they have a special relationship with Krishna. Everybody has a customized relationship with Krishna, even if you're a servant, but you're a special kind of servant. The next servant is serving, but they're not exactly the same as you do. So Krishna is not one-sided, everything being monotonous. No, every servants are all the same. That's like my Guru Maharaj gave an example. There's an orchestra. They all have different instruments and they all play the same notes. How boring would that be? High note or low note, but they play the same notes. There should be variety. So there is variety. That's the examples he gave. The spiritual world, of course, he would know. Gurus imbued with all this knowledge. So Krishna and his entourage and paraphernalia are of the same Chinmaya potency. Just scroll up a little bit. Okay. In this way, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is expanded throughout the spiritual world. And I can't see from what, so if you go up slightly. I'm waiting for you to go up slightly. Okay. All right. Oh, okay. It's me. I have to scroll up. Sorry. It's me. I'm using my mouse now. So, all right. So, his Krishna and his entourage and paraphernalia are of the same Chinmaya potency. In this way, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is expanded throughout the spiritual world. And when that Chinmaya potency expands through the material, then it becomes all pervading. Then we get a little lucky, We are in the material world, we are in jail, but Krishna still gives his mercy. The idea is that although the Supreme Personality of Godhead exists in his own planet, they can come here and be born just like we see Janmashtami for his pleasure and also to kill. Paritaya sadhunam vinashaya chadushkitam. He gets rid of the demons and also enthuses the devotees. He got rid of Putana and then the cowherd boys were excited with them. And he got rid of Shakatasura and the cowherd boys were excited with him. He gets rid of the horse demon, the bird demon, whatever demon, he kills them in his own style depending on the body that the demon brings. And the cowherd boys are having fun. See, Krishna is our hero, like that. So this is all wonderful. So at some point, Sri Prabhupada would allow us to go in. Andantarasta Paramao Chayantarastam. He's present within all the universes, although they are innumerable, and he's also present within the atom. Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hrideshajantistiti. So we are fortunate to connect with him like that. Now, the last few minutes that are left, I want to talk a little bit about the pastimes of Krishna, but we add the gopis to it. If you have a little time with that, it's after all it's Janmashtami. Why not? We can hear one thing about Krishna. All right, so this first pastime is a short one. This is in Vrindavan. And so Krishna and the gopis are there. At that time, Krishna was not with the gopis. So, of course, the gopis are together, Lalita, Vishaka, and the rest of them. And they say, okay, wonderful. They're going to cross the river, the Jamuna River. They had baskets. They had a lot of food in there. All the boats were gone, except one. So this old man is the one that is handling this particular boat. So when it comes to arrangements, Lalita is the one that's sent to make order. He's the general manager. And so Lalita goes to talk to this boatman. We want to cross the river with our belongings and baskets and so on. So they negotiated the price, and the old man said, okay, sure, you can come. So they all got in, and their baskets are heavy. So with their own weight, and this canoe, it really weighed down on the river. It was just an inches up from the top of it, anything more down than the river could come in. But then the old man started. He's an old man, which means basically he doesn't have much strength, right? So he's just always slowly crossing the river. And Gopi said, when are we going to get to the other side? Well, he was the only person left in muttering among themselves. They slowly. Got to the middle of the river. He tells them, I'm tired. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. He sees the food there and says, I'm hungry. Give me some food to eat. Gopi said, all right. What kind of person? He's supposed to send us to the other side. All right, we'll give him. So eat whatever you can. So this person eats and eats and eats. He ate quite a bit. The old man had a pretty good appetite. So he ate. And I said, all right, I'm full. Well, now, when people get full, what do they want to do? They want to take a nap. So he tells them, I'm going to sleep for a little while. So he puts the oar down and he goes to sleep. And the gopis are in the middle of, and the boat is moving all around. What in the world? Of all the people we could have had, this man, old man, but he was the only one left though. Everybody, all the boats were gone. So of course, the gopis are patient. Whatever happens, something will happen. Then the thought hit one of them. He saw a small bag. The man is sleeping after all, right? Sleeping. He's not going to know. So he says, let's look and see what's inside the bag. So they open the bag and they see something. What comes out? Krishna's flute. Oh, so the old man is Krishna. No wonder, Krishna will put a trick like that on them, right? So then they started laughing. All right, so Krishna is with us after all. He can wake up whenever. So we fed Krishna. So the old man is after all Krishna. Huh? So that's the end of the story. So that's one. And I'm looking at the time. We're squeezing one more. This one, a short one too. Now that involves Krishna, Radha, and Radha's so-called husband, Abhimanyu, and then a sister and the mother, Jatila and Kutila. I've said about quite a few of them. We're looking at the time, so I'll just say this one. Now, by transcendental pastimes, Jatila and Kutila, mother and sister of Abhimanyu, so-called husband of Radharani, they take that marriage very seriously. As far as they're concerned, Radharani is married to Abhimanyu, and I don't know who Krishna is. He's not married. According to them, the marriage should be respected by Radharani and Abhimanyu. But it happened to be that day that they got told that Radha and Krishna are together. And so the mother and the sister of Abhimanyu got upset. What do you mean? Listen, your wife is with another person. With another person. Go get your wife. They push Abhimanyu out of the house. Go get your wife. So Abhimanyu, he's also a little upset, but the parent and the sister are pushing. So they said, okay, he is in this place. So he starts, they are in this particular area. So not too far from the house. So Abhimanyu starts walking towards where Radha and Krishna are supposed to be. So Radha and Krishna saw Abhimanyu coming from a distance. And the way he was walking, they could tell that Abhimanyu was not happy at all. But he was coming. He was coming. Krishna doesn't afraid of anything. But this, I won't spoil it. We'll just say exactly what happened. So at that time, Radha was serving Krishna. It doesn't say specifically what he was doing, but it was something he was handing to Krishna. So if you can imagine, Abhimanyu is coming and Radha is handing something to Krishna. So Radha's back is towards Abhimanyu. And Krishna is facing, so Krishna can see Abhimanyu directly. But Radha is, because he's giving something to Krishna, Radha's face cannot see Abhimanyu, but Krishna can. Okay, so this is what, and then Abhimanyu comes closer and closer and closer. And then Radha says, well, I know he's coming. What should we do? Krishna says, just keep doing what you're doing, like you're offering something to me. That's all. That's all. So Abhimanyu gets closer and closer and closer. He gets really close. And then Radharani doesn't know what's going to happen. But they saw then Krishna, to the surprise of Radharani, Abhimanyu goes down and offers full dandavats. Full dandavats. And Radha says, Abhimanyu offering dandavats to my Krishna? See, he's looking at the Abhimanyu. And Abhimanyu is offering, so Radharani says, he's offering to Krishna. So what's going on? He turns, looks at Krishna. There is no Krishna. What's there? Who is there? Durga. Krishna changed himself to Durga. And so when Radharani had turned like that, and looking at Radha had turned and looking at Abhimanyu, that was the time that Krishna changed. So Radha didn't notice that Krishna had changed. But Abhimanyu was coming straight at him. So Abhimanyu didn't see Krishna. Just we're going for Krishna, but he goes there and he sees Durga, his worship deity. So then he offers dandavats, which he should do, right? And prays to Durga that the relationship between him Abhimanyu, and Radharani could improve nicely, and Krishna won't get in the middle of it because he never saw Krishna, he just saw Durga. And Radharani turns and he sees Durga there. Radharani says, you pulled good one this time, right? So there was no argument, nothing. Abhimanyu could not confront Krishna because there was no Krishna. And so the whole thing ended nicely. And so Krishna, well, he's Durga, and Abhimanyu and Radharani went back home. So that's the end of that pastime also. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Krishna Janmashtami ki jai. So now, if you want questions, as you like, Hare Krishna. Or comments, that's also good.
Beautiful class, Prabhu. And we cannot have any questions out of this.
Somebody may want to comment. You never know.
Nectar is so good.
That's Krishna.
No questions. That's very good. It's really morning started very good Janmashtami.
So we get a nice fasting and prasadam at 12 midnight.
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Jai. Glory to Srila Prabhupada. So, any comments? Or we could tell one more pastime, if you don't mind. I don't mind.
Oh, yeah. All day we can hear.
Okay, so we do one more pastime? This one?
Prabhu. Sure.
Okay, this is a little longer. So, and when I told this pastime, I think, this sannyasi, he's left the body not long ago, told this story for the first time, and I heard it in Baltimore. Probably the name will come back to me. So anyway, this was in Vrindavan. Now, in Krishna's pastime, don't think too hard into it because they do all kinds of things whenever they want to. And there's a reason why I've said this. So at that time, and the gopis are very, 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 very intelligent. So they were the ones handling the political affairs in this pastime in Vrindavan. So the gopis were the politicians. The gopis, they were the politicians. So obviously, if the gopis are politicians, then Lalita will get a post that's a little high, and Vishaka, because they are the 8 principal gopis, so they have a little post there. So Krishna was also in Vrindavan. He had nothing to do. So then he said to this government of the gopis, I would like to go around Vrindavan and talk about the glories of Radharani. Do I have permission? It says, we are a government. If you're going to do that, you have to submit a proposal to us. And we will look at the proposal and we see everything of a proposal. And if it's fine, then we let you. In other words, we're going by the book. Krishna, you can't do as you like. So Krishna agreed. Krishna writes a proposal and he sends it to them. Who is the top person? Lalita. In the meantime, Radharani is topmost, so she's queen at that time. Queen, that in that way. So it's not like Vrinda like Tulsi. This is a different pastime. So Radharani is queen. There is no king. He's just queen. Krishna is just, well, trying to extol the glories of Radharani, and they say write a proposal. He writes a proposal and gives it to Lalita. Lalita, they read through it and they said, the proposal is rejected. Krishna says, what? The proposal is rejected. Why? And then Lalita says, yeah, you've written the proposal, but there are no references. There are no references about it. You said a statement, you write a statement that you didn't make. You have to write the person who made it, where you got it from at the bottom. You didn't do any of that. Krishna, you're not that very competent. So we reject it. So go back and correct it. Put all your references there and then bring it back and we'll reconsider. Krishna says, well, what to do? He do this to me. All right. So he rewrote this, put all of the references, that he got, and then brought it, and then he read it. So, okay, proposal is accepted. But now we got a job for you, Krishna. You're not doing anything. We want you to be a police. Take about another 5 minutes to finish. Police constable. We don't have law enforcement, so we want to make you law enforcement person. Krishna agreed. So then they take the peacock feather. Well, actually, they let that on. They changed the clothes, and now he has police officer clothes. You can imagine. With a little peacock, that one they let it. Yeah? Now, so Krishna is going around. Now he's in Vrindavan. He's the sheriff. He's the sheriff in Vrindavan. So not long after that, Krishna returns to the gopis who are in parliament and meeting Congress, as we call it here, and he reported to them, someone has stolen my flute. Someone has stolen your flute? Your flute? Actually, we're very happy that someone is stolen your flute, because when you play the flute, it's so nice, we cannot concentrate on our political activities. So it's actually better for us to hear that your flute is missing. But I thought you are the constable. So if you can't keep your own property, how can you protect other people's property? This is how they do back and forth. How can you protect other property? You know good, no good. Krishna says, yeah, I understand. So if any old person stole my flute, then I can see your point. But if the flute was stolen by people in high places, then that's another matter. The gopi says, what do you mean high places? Are you talking about us? Are you implying that we've stolen your flute? We haven't stolen the flute. So we can prove it. And one by one, they started taking enough clothes of veil and everything out to show, Krishna, I don't have your flute. The other person, Krishna, I don't have your flute. That. And then it got to Lalita. And as Lalita was taking, you remember he's the one that rejected the proposal? As she's taking the clothes off, the flute falls down from Lalita's veil to the ground. And Lalita got upset, very upset. Krishna, you did this. Krishna says, I didn't. You did. I didn't. You did. Well, big argument on everybody. So it got to a point where Lalita knew they were not going to win the argument. That he said, all right, here is Radharani sitting on the throne. You, Krishna, I'm saying you're lying, but it's your word against mine. So you have to prove who is lying. In other words, the modern lie detector testing. Lalita says, all right, you take steps towards Radharani, and I know the love you have for Radharani, and you go touch Radharani's feet and swear that you didn't put the flute in my veil. Krishna says, all right. So he starts walking. He starts walking towards, almost the end of this. He starts walking towards Radharani, but he's in so much love with Radharani that the love has gotten almost like in a drunken state, so he can't walk straight. And so he walks and he stumbles. Lalita says, see, did not tell you? Did not tell you? You can't even get to Radharani. So this big argument going on, Radharani says, stop. All of you stop. Okay? Stop. This is you're supposed to be in Congress or whatever, and now this is all going on with Krishna. He's supposed to be constable. What are we doing? Okay, so stop. Then he told the gopis. She told the gopis, every time that we do any pastimes here, whatever you say, I go along with it because I know you have me in my interest at heart. But today I'm going to make a request. I am the queen of Vrindavan. Here's another throne. There is no king. So I'm going to propose that this constable here, King Krishna, be made the king. And all the gopis were very happy, except one. And you know who that one is?
Lalita.
Lalita. But the gopis are all excited about it. So they just changed. Krishna took the constable clothes off and dressed him as a nice king, and really effulgent. And they seated him next to Radharani. And you look at the two of them, how wonderful they look.
Wonderful, wonderful.
And then Krishna turned and looked at Lalita and said, now, how do you like me now? I don't have to write a proposal for you to reject. Now I'm the king, right? And everybody was so happy, but Lalita had to take it in and say, all right, what to do? Krishna always wins. Hare Krishna. So that is a pastime. Hare Krishna.
Very good, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. All right.
Thank you.
Like my mom said, I think, there cannot be questions because everybody is just relishing these beautiful pastimes.
We cannot stop.
It is providence that it should be you to give class. It was your turn to give class.
Well, I saw it. I was surprised too.
Really.
Yes. I think it happens that way too. Tomorrow, Kaivalya Prabhu is going to continue. And he was also, yesterday's class was very nice with the way he was giving.
That means your heart is open. That's why Krishna's doing this. Your heart is open. We're just puppets. We're just servants.
Yes.
But because when your love increases, and Krishna makes the bhakti even greater. This is the joy they've been talking about.
Yes.
Now I'm talking, but I'm also hearing, because the pastime is not about me. I'm just sharing. That's all.
And the thing is to look inward again. I think that has been the focus over the last few verses. This chapter, when it started, there was not new information, but the old information is about us to go deeper, to go look. Yep. Turn that flashlight, that torchlight back onto yourself. And you started off the class like that, saying, look within, see where Kamsa is within you. When are we criticizing people? When are we not helping others? Me. And it is tough, but it is also the most important thing that
it's required.
It is required.
To love Krishna is required.
Yes,
it's definitely required.
The way.
And by the way, it's not me; it's my guru's.
Yes. I mean, and we hear that in you, Prabhu. I mean, when we say you, because we are hearing your guru through you, and so that is why.
Guru through you, Krishna through you. That's all we are.
And that is
again. Yeah, I'm a puppet. They're the puppeteers. So.
Yes.
They do. They move me around a little bit. Yeah, so this is part of the service. But it's through them, though, that all of this is happening.
Now we go on and we take your advice, go on to do our service. There's a lot of service to be done today.
Yes.
All rush off. I see some names here. Who need to be at the temple now. So
okay. Yeah. They started their cut up yesterday. A lot of people did some cut up for the boga. So it's wonderful. And this evening we all have fun. We all have fun.
Thank you very much, Prabhu, for getting us started.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah.